So welcome to the College of Business Jim Wood Speaker Series. Our speaker tonight is, or it's always at night, right? Our speaker this afternoon is Steve Roembke, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've been practicing. He is from Fastenal, and we'll hear a lot more about that throughout the next hour. I wanted to just remind you of a couple of things and introduce myself. I'm Dr. Thompson, otherwise known as Dr. T. I'm going to keep things moving along, so if you hear me interject, that's only because I'm trying to keep us on time. Dolores Cox is our operations manager. She's going to be also moderating. She is going to be monitoring all the chats, raised hands. She will mute status if you haven't already and make sure that people have the right access to the meeting. We'll start at 2 and end at 3. This will include about 20 minutes of Q&A. In a minute, Dr. Jacob Chaka, our dean, is going to welcome Steve Roembke to this event, and then we'll have time for Q&A at the end. Just a couple of reminders. These are some things that you should do. Important, if you want to be counted as present for this event, you need to post your full name and email to chat record, the chat log, to do that now. So if you go to the top of your screen, you'll see a little chat icon to the right of the people icon. You can click on that, put your full name and email, and it would be also helpful if you would add your professor's name. Just simple name, email, professor's name. That would be helpful for us and for you. So if we could all keep our videos off and muted unless you are speaking. Generally, we will only have speakers who are presenting, except in the Q&A, and we'll explain that later. If you could keep your video off for the remainder of the hour, that would be helpful. With this many people, it really doesn't work too well. Okay, and then dress appropriately. As we know, some people have issues. I always mention that even though we're already here. So hopefully you have. And these are some things that you shouldn't do in case you're in a MS Teams meeting. Distracting backgrounds or profile pictures are not helpful. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing my screen. And, okay, stop presenting. Okay, there we go. And Dr. Chaka, if you'd like to take it from here.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Thompson. And again, first of all, let me apologize for the distracting background. And I will not be on screen for long. But welcome. This is an exciting day. It is the launch of a program that our friends in Fastenal and in the College of Business have been working for quite some time, and so I'm really excited to be here today to hear from one of the founders of the program, Steve Roembke. So the FASTRAC program is a joint program between Fastenal Corporation and Clayton State. Now, Fastenal, I'm sure all of you have heard of Fastenal, but just in case. If you didn't know the details, I mean, they were founded in 1967, almost the same age as when Clayton State was founded, a little over 50 years ago. Fastenal have well over 20,000 employees. It's one of the largest companies in the world, one of the best companies to work for, and one of the most innovative companies. It's impressive. They started out of a garage, and now they have sales of over $5 billion. So it's a big corporation. We are excited that they are partnering with us on this. So the purpose of this program is truly to it's win-win-win-win-win for everyone. First and foremost, for you, the students, you get to take classes, work part-time for Fastenal, get paid for it, get to work in all of their various operations. In other words, they've got various departments just like in
Jacob, looks like we're having a problem with your video.
Hello?
Oh, Jacob.
Yes.
We're having trouble with your video, but we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't, the video's not moving, but that's okay.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll turn the camera off. So as I was saying, you get to go to school, you get work part-time, you get paid for it, and if you choose, you can get up to 6 academic credit hours toward your graduation for working at Fastenal. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 there. And then while you're working there, they have Fastenal School of Business that has incredible resources to build your career development, your other skills. And after 18 months, if you do well, you get to join Fastenal on a full-time basis. And I think, I cannot see a better deal than that. So that's why I'm so excited about this opportunity. Now, about our speaker today. So before I get to Steve Roembke, I want to thank 3 individuals from Fastenal for making this happen. Of course, Steve Roembke is one, Greg Campbell, who is with us, and Heidi Dennis. These 3 individuals have worked with us and to really customize it for your need and our need at Clayton State. So thank you for that. On our side, I want to especially thank Michael Smith, who is our internship coordinator for the College of Business, to make sure that we are working in conjunction with Fastenal to make sure that your academic credits are properly granted while you're working. Now today's speaker, Steve, is an amazing speaker. Now, he was a trainer. He has done it all. He has been with Fastenal for 33 years. To me, that's a lifer, He's been a lifer with Fastenal, and I thought that is unique. That's very unique in these days. But I got to visit Fastenal during their expo last year, and being lifers is what Fastenal is all about. I met so many people who have been with Fastenal forever, and that to me that is the sign of a very good company that takes care of its people. So Steve has been a lifer for 33 years with Fastenal. He has done it all. He has been a vice president. He has been a trainer. He is now the district manager. He has worked in all aspects of the business, so Steve is just the right person to tell us all about this program and about Fastenal. So without any more boring stuff from me, please help me welcome Steve Roembke. Steve, thank you for being here and talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Jacob. I appreciate it. As I said, my name is Steve Roembke. I want to first thank the students. Once again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the students, the faculty, and the staff of Clayton State and the School of Business for taking your time out of your busy schedules today and listening to my story and a little bit about Fastenal. But a special thanks to Dean Jacob and Margaret Thompson and Dolores Cox and Michael Smith. There's been several others from the Clayton State side, but those 4 have really been instrumental in making this program work. There's been a lot of hard work that's taken place over the last 15 to 18 months working on this partnership between Fastenal and Clayton State to develop the FASTRAC program, and that's what we'll be kicking off today. And the FASTRAC program is really, it's a program for Clayton State, and we're hoping as we kick this off that we'll be able to take this to other schools and capitalize on this program. So we're very excited with it. Today's topics that I want to talk about, one will be the Steve Roembke story, who Fastenal Company is and what we do, and then a breakdown a little bit in regards to what the FASTRAC program is, which is Fastenal Supply Chain Training Career Program is what this is. And then we'll open it up for a question and answer here at the end. So to get started, I was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've been married for 32 years. I met my wife, Laura, while I was going to college at Indiana University. I've got 3 children. My oldest is Stephanie, who's 29, and she's a nurse here in Cobb County, one of the frontline heroes working on the COVID floor. So very proud. My son is 25. He went to Georgia Southern also and works for the Fastenal company. And as we talk about my story, his story has started off very similar in regards to while he was going to college, has worked for Fastenal part-time while going to school, which hopefully will get some of you to start to do here in the near future. And now he's graduated and he's moved into our Lean Solutions team. My youngest is Sammy. She goes to North Georgia Technical College. And is a health science major. I've got a BS in business analysis from Indiana University. I graduated in 1988. I was on a 5-year program due to working my way through college, like many of you, working and going to school at the same time. My senior year, I got an opportunity to start working for Fastenal Company on December 18th, 1987. So quick math, I've got 33 years as the dean had mentioned earlier with Fastenal here coming up in December. So with that, that's kind of unusual in today's times. Not many people have those type of long, lengthy careers with companies. I think that should speak a lot in regards to what I think of Fastenal in regards to what they have to offer. And that's what I feel so privileged to be able to speak to you about that today. So when I started, Fastenal was a $20 million company and we had approximately 50 locations. Last year in 2019, Fastenal did $5.3 billion. And we're a global company right now. We've got over 3,200 locations. Sales growth from that 20 million to that 5.3 billion has all been organic growth. It's not from acquisitions, which is one of the more common places in how companies grow today. In our industry is by buying other corporations. But ours just came from organic growth of us building it internally, hiring good people, and going after and taking market share. I started as an assistant manager in Kokomo, Indiana. I was there for a little bit over a year as the assistant manager. At that time, we only sold fasteners, nuts and bolts and screws, which is where the Fastenal name came from fasteners. I was a manager in that same store. I got the opportunity to be promoted after about a year when my manager went to Indianapolis and took over another store. I continued to manage that store for 7.5 years. I opened up several other locations off of this territory that this store was made up of, and became one of the first what they called group managers. Was kind of very similar to what a district manager does today, but back in the old days, I guess, and managing and looking over multiple locations. We started to expand and started to sell other product lines, tools, cutting tools, safety type products, and continued to grow as we were adding more industrial products to our business. After running the store, our national sales manager, Nick Lundqvist, came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, Steve, he said, we're really growing. We need to start doing a training program. And if we're going to continue to grow and open up stores like our plan is, we've got to be able to develop our people faster. And asked me if I'd be interested in being a developmental manager and starting a training program up in the Midwest, which was the largest territory in our company. And I'll be honest, I had to look at him and say, why me? I just didn't understand that piece. But he said, Steve, he said, we've been watching. You've had a very successful store there in Kokomo, and you've promoted a lot of good people and that have came out of your store and are being very successful today. And personally, that was one of those things that I felt really frustrated with my district manager because he kept taking my good people. We would hire them, I would train them, we would get going, and then they'd pull them out. But lo and behold, I had no idea what it would do for me for the future by people understanding what I could do and train people and develop them, and what opportunities that created not only for all those employees, but also for myself. So I did that for about 4.5 years. It was a lot of travel, 3 to 4 nights a week. And that was starting to get old, as you can all imagine. I was starting to develop a family, and I also wanted to get back to coaching. So I talked with my with the national sales manager and became a district manager in Indiana and Illinois. I did that for about a year. I was one of the first district managers to do over $1 million a month, and had some real successes up there in Indiana, Illinois market. I got an opportunity based on that success and was tapped to and asked if I would be interested in moving to Atlanta, Georgia. And I accepted, and I took over the regional vice president's job here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's kind of, I guess, here with where we're at in the September 11th was my first day, 9/11, back in 2001. So just a week ago here, I had 19 years here in Atlanta, Georgia. So one of the things that's just great and really is what I want to talk about is the opportunities that Fastenal has made available to myself and many of our other employees is because we promote from within. And that opportunity, especially as big as Atlanta is with all the Fortune 500 companies, to be able to get a title and a position with in a vice president in a corporation of our size, most companies would have been looking at other people outside of their company, but not Fastenal. So they're looking at our current employees and they're looking at who has proven themselves internally, which gives us all opportunities. And I'll come back to that here a little bit later. The last 8 years, I've moved back into a district manager position here in Atlanta. I've got 22 locations that I work with, and it's about $35 million worth of business a year. So people say, why would you start this off in regards to talking about your story? And really it's because I want people to understand the opportunities that are here in all the different areas that you can move to and be developed here at Fastenal. And these stories are being started and developed every single day. I do a lot of interviewing, a lot of recruiting, a lot of hiring in regards to as our growth continues for people and continue to be able to provide them, give them the tools and advice and be able to watch them promote themselves and the opportunities of where they go with their within Fastenal. Many times when I'm doing interviews, at the end of an interview or even current employees will say, Steve, what motivates you? What do you like most about your job, your career? Why are you still here 33 years later? And honestly, it's an easy answer for me. It's because I've been able to give people an opportunity like I was given and be able to develop them and provide them, as I said, with the tools, the direction, and let them work and blossom and watch their success stories. When time adds up, and we have every year a large trade show in Florida, which Dean Jacob was talking about earlier, that he got to participate at one of our events, is we bring in a couple thousand of the Fastenal employees. In the last couple years, we have a big event in regards to the 25-year employees. In the last couple of years, are employees that I actually hired as part-timers and are coming up to me and saying, Steve, I don't know if you remember me, but you hired me when I was going to college. You took a risk on me, a chance with me, and you gave me an opportunity. And I just want to say thank you. Here I am 25 years later, and I'd like to introduce you to my family because they get to bring their families to these events. And that really is, what motivates me, to see people to be successful and be able to grow and prosper in their careers and with their families. So when I started, 22 years ago, which was when I was 22 years old, I guess, I'm sorry, and started 33 years with Fastenal. If you would have asked me, I would still be here 33 years later, have the success and opportunities that I had, be living in Atlanta, Georgia, I would have just been, no way. I wouldn't have ever believed that those opportunities were going to be available because it was 50 locations, $20 million corporation. At that time, there wasn't even a regional vice president type opportunity and district manager position. So it's great, and we're just scratching the surface and really of where we're going with our company. So our motto, talk a little bit about Fastenal Company, is growth through customer service. The company was started in 1967. It went public in 1987. As I mentioned, it was a $20 million company. Last year, $5.3 billion. And I keep emphasizing that because we're still scratching the surface. And really what we're looking at right now is our plan of where we can be in the next 5 to 7 years. And that number is $10 billion. And many are going to say, well, gosh, that just sounds impossible. How are you going to double your sales in the next 5 to 7 years? I've seen it happen. I know the market's there. And if we can continue to build partnerships with schools like Clayton State and get the people, we'll be able to do that. Some other things about Fastenal, we're financially sound. With all the things that you see on TV that are going on with all the COVID and everything else and all these people out of jobs, Fastenal is still investing. We're investing in infrastructure. We're investing in technology. We're investing in inventory. And we're still hiring. Not many companies can say that. And to be a national global company like we are to be able to do that. So we are a global distributor of industrial and construction supplies. Fasteners, tools, safety, metalworking, janitorial, office supplies. And we operate in 25 countries today. We just had a very large milestone at the end of August. Fastenal had its first year where we've done $1 billion in safety. Safety is our fastest growing commodity, and you can only imagine with what's been going on with the COVID and all the PPE type items, that's made it possible for us to grow that piece of our business. We started with fasteners, we've expanded, and it's really because the customers, they've liked the service that we've offered, and they've continued to say can you get me this? Can you get this part? Can you do this service for me? And over the years, we've grown to where we're a full line industrial supply company today. So it's business to business sales. Customers that you may wonder, who does Fastenal sell to? We sell to manufacturers, customers that are OEM and they're making products and they're utilizing items like our fasteners to build what they're doing. We sell MRO, which is the maintenance and repair and operations for our customers. PPE really is for all customers. And probably is, if I would have ever said that in the past, people would say, what's PPE? But pretty much anybody that opens up and turns on the TV, the radio, you've heard those three initials, PPE, personal protective equipment. Really, it's masks has been the big mover, and you've all seen that on a daily basis in the last 6 months. Construction is another very large part of Fastenal's business. Government, we have state and local contracts that we sell to the government, Department of Corrections, the K through 12s, and also to the colleges and the universities. Clayton State is a customer of ours. And through the COVID, we've been able to provide them with mask and hand sanitizer and surface sanitizing type products. And then distribution centers here in Georgia, especially here in Atlanta, there's a lot of distribution centers, and them are very large customers for Fastenal in our vending solutions program. So if we start to talk a little more about Fastenal, we take those customers and how do we drive the growth besides as our motto, growth through customer service, and what separates us from the competition. As mentioned earlier, Fastenal has over 21,000 employees. And really that's the number one piece. People buy from people. We all have a similar product and similar services, but people buy from people. We're stocking store locations in the local markets. So each of our stores that we have on the sales side, they actually are stocking locations. We have a national distribution network. We also utilize something we call Fastenal Managed Inventory, where we're managing a customer's inventory, whether that be bin stocking type programs or items that are on shelves that we've put min maxes on and we manage using technology and scanning systems. We've got our industrial vending machines, which we're the number one in the world actually in industrial vending machines, which is a product that is in a customer, looks similar to a snack style machine, but it has all types of industrial products. And one of the common moving items here lately, especially with what's been going on, has been a lot of masks and a lot of gloves and a lot of safety glasses and shields and masks that people are needing. So more and more of these customers have been investing in the industrial vending program that Fastenal has. Our goal has always been to try to get closer and closer to the customer. And that's been able to make that more possible. We have our stocking stores locally, and then we've got the vending machines that are inside our customers. And we've also got what we call on-site locations, and that's taking a Fastenal store and putting it right inside a company to where our people are right there partnered and right there on site with the customer. We've got Fastenal.com as many things in today as people are buying on the .com platform. And we've got national account and product sales specialists in the field to help drive national account type agreements from high levels between corporations. So I want to go back. People, 21,000 people buy from people. That's our number one difference. We recruit, we hire from the field in the local communities. That's the number one thing that a district manager is responsible for. Besides growing the business, you can't grow it without your team and your people. And that's why I'm speaking, because I've got a very large investment that I'm trying to grow in Atlanta, and Clayton State can help with that. And working through this program of me being able to find good people and train them so we can continue to grow. Fastenal promotes from within. Many of our opportunities, I said we're hiring and we're promoting right now. A lot of our promotion opportunities you don't see from the outside. Only the people that work for us see those postings here on the blue team. You know, a majority of our upper management all started at the very ground level. Many of them started part-time when they were going to college, just like yourself. A lot of our executive vice presidents, part-time when they started with the company. So we bleed that way in regards to promote from within. So why are our people different? Our cultural values is really what I feel separates us. And you know, the company in regards to what we've got is our cultural values are ambition, innovation, integrity, and teamwork. Ambition, it's aggressive, energetic people with strong work ethics. Look at people that are innovative, the ability to repeatedly bring ideas, modifications, improvements to the business and personal practices. Integrity. And to me, this is the number one given thing that I look for. Would I buy from someone? You know, are we fair? Are we respectful? What's our moral behavior in all situations? And in today's times, I think that really is the number one piece that separates us and when we're looking at our people. Teamwork, a coordination of talented individuals, people that are focused to achieve that common goal. And I think that's why we accomplish more than what our competitors do today. Decentralized thinking. We teach, and it was this way when I started, is we're taught to run it like you own it. And when you own it, you make better business decisions, I found, if we're hiring those good people. Promote and pay is based off your performance. And to me, that's where I've always been. If I'm going to work hard and at the end of the day, have that opportunity and the ability to be promoted. And also to make a very good income because I've worked hard and I've performed in my business. We've also have what we call FSB, Fastenal School of Business. It's an ongoing employment development program modeled after the universities and the way their educational institutions are today. But they're there to support you and give you that success on the career pathway that you choose. And we've got many career pathways. And the great thing about Fastenal, as I said, when you work for the company, you see the other opportunities in our corporation. And you can change. You may start in operations in a distribution center. You may be a truck driver today, but you know what? You want to start working in a store. You might be in sales today and you've realized, you know what? Now I want to be a trainer. Now I want to be a vice president. Now I want to be an IT specialist. We have those opportunities, and then we help train you, continuous training, so you can achieve those career pathways that you choose. Some of the trainings that we do with our Fastenal School of Business, and these are available from the new employee to myself, somebody that's been around for 33 years. We have classroom trainings, online trainings. We have a video library that you can do trainings on your own. And all new, due to what's been going on in 2020, is virtual training. One more thing with Fastenal, we've been an essential, critical supply company to all industries and have been able to stay open in all our locations nationally through the COVID times. And when you look at trainers, in most companies, if they had a training, they may have lost their job. They may have been laid off, but not at Fastenal. Fastenal said, how can we use these people? And what we did is we challenged them to put programs together because we could see this wasn't going away and we need to learn how to do virtual training. We've got people all over the United States, actually all over the world, and we need to be able to continue training so we can keep on task to get to that $10 billion company. So with that, we've created virtual trainings. Part of them virtual trainings have all been in regards to how do we deal with today's times. Many of our customers today are remote. They're not working in the office, a lot of office personnel. So we've had to learn as salespeople how to virtually train. How would we do things like we're doing right now in a virtual presentation? And so we've created trainings to be able to help, not only from product knowledge, but actually how to utilize virtual trainings and be able to interact with our customers. So it's been awesome. And the great thing is we haven't had to lay off or cut back in regards to what's been going on in the economy today. So one thing I've always looked at is training develops knowledge, knowledge develops confidence, and gives you the ability to really do your job higher. I mean, to me, if you've got that confidence, you will do a better job. It creates that opportunity to go out and grow your sales, grow your opportunity, and be able to be promoted and make more money. So, FASTRAC, Fastenal Supply Chain Training Career. Really what we're here for and what we want to talk about of how do we partner with Clayton State and why is this so important to Fastenal? For us, really that importance is coming because we want to be a $10 billion company in the next 7 years. And I personally want to see that happen. It's one of the things that I want to see as an achievement and a box I want to check before I retire is to see us as a $10 billion corporation. The only way that's possible is really to be able to find good people and develop these good people. And so we've spent the last 12 to 18 months putting together a program because in the field, we have stores everywhere, which we have a lot of colleges and universities that are close. But in our distribution centers, they're large facilities, 200,000-300,000 square foot buildings. And if there's no school close enough, their recruiting patterns are not there. And the only way we can continue to grow the sales side is if we can actually support them. And so Greg Campbell, our distribution manager here in Atlanta, was mentioned earlier by the dean, has been very involved with myself and working with them because it's going to be a distribution partnership along with our sales partnership. So with that program, we've put together that we've developed, and as I said, this was developed with and for Clayton State University. It's to provide general business administration, management, marketing, supply chain students with an opportunity to gain real-world experience, working as a part-time Fastenal employee while you're earning your degree over the course of your college career. So as we build this experience while you're going to school and putting real life world experience, and to me, I've always been more of a hands-on learner. And I can still remember when I was in college, when we had speakers come in and they could apply something to their business in the real world compared to what we were learning in a book, it made it so much easier to understand. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And because if it was able to help me, I think it can help a lot of other people out there also. So with the program, they will be rotating through different departments in our company. The program is where you'll spend 9 months working in the distribution center and moving around in regards to the different departments all through our distribution center and learning and understanding each of those departments. And then it'll be 9 months in a Fastenal store, the sales side of the business, and the sales and operations and the business-to-business interaction side of the business. So it will start off as an 18-month type program. Some of the benefits that you can gain from this, one, enhance your educational experience, real-world professional work experience. You'll get paid while attending this, opportunities for internship credits. And I think when you look at those three things, I mean, it's really like what the dean said, win, win, win. Where you can get education, you can get internship credits, you can make money, and have that opportunity when you graduate to have a full-time position with Fastenal. It is a part-time position. We're flexible in regards to your schedule, work around the school schedule, work around your breaks, work around your finals. Not a lot of companies are willing to do that. Fastenal is, because we know the importance of getting an education and how much you've spent in time and effort. We want you to graduate. We want you to get that degree. You get to be able to, because I said as earlier, is when you work for Fastenal, you get to actually see the different opportunities, the career options that are related to your major that Fastenal has to see and has to offer to you. You got an opportunity for advancement to full-time opportunities when you graduate from college. You'll receive personalized advice, mentoring, and also be able to establish a network of professional peers, both in the sales side and the operations sides of our organization. Internships credits, them will really they'll come available through Clayton State. You'll work with your advisors in regards to what your major is, and to be able to understand what credits you will be able to get with this program. Some of the quick high-level requirements for the program: you must be a sophomore or junior enrolled at Clayton State, going to school for a business or in a business degree, whether it be in business admin, management, marketing, supply chain. They're really what we're trying to cater to in this program. Agree to participate in the program throughout the remainder of your college career at Clayton State. Commit to working 12 to 28 hours per week during both the summer and the school year. Review the program syllabus that is going to be attached here at the end of the presentation that you can download. Go through it. It'll actually give you more of the basic requirements that Fastenal have in regards to being an employee of our company. So them couple links will be loaded to the chat, along with Michael Smith's contact information, who will be working on the internships program from the Clayton State side. So at this point, would like to open it up in regards to if there's any questions, and we'll have a Q&A. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Margaret Thompson. I feel a little, I'm hearing an echo. Are you hearing that? I hope not. Anyway, I am, just want to remind you to put your name and email and your professor in the chat, and that's going to be your attendance record, so be sure you do that. If you've done it already, great. If you haven't, then please do that. I haven't seen any questions except for something about a high school alma mater we'll start with Steve. I'm not sure if that was important. They said Greg, but I'm not sure if it was Steve too. Where did you go to high school, Steve? Okay, you're muted. You need to unmute yourself. Steve. I think I can unmute you. Hold on a second. Got it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I went to Roembke High School, Roembke High School in Indianapolis.
Okay. And Greg?
I graduated from Lithia Springs Comprehensive High School here on the west side of Atlanta.
Okay. That may be the connection that they were looking for. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any questions, and so I'm going to stall for time here, but I'm sure you do have some questions. Oh, I see some now. Okay. What is a normal day like working at Fastenal for part-time employees? A day in the life of?
Well, Greg, I'll start from the sales side in regards to being in the store. And to start, there's nothing normal. When we're dealing with business-to-business customers, especially in 2020, but we were this way before. Customers are very demanding, and many of them don't plan accordingly of what they need. But when you're working in the store, you're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to learn inventory management. You're going to learn how to answer the phone and talk to customers on the phone. You're going to be able to learn how to process electronic data orders. You'll be working with customers that come in over the counter and helping them to try to put solutions in place. You'll be doing some purchasing. You may do some collection calls. Deliveries to our customers, and I think that's probably one of the more exciting things that people like to do, is because you get to go into these operations of buildings you've always wondered what they do in there and see how they operate. And then eventually, as you grow, be able to make sales calls. Greg, I'll let you talk a little bit about the operations at the DC.
Thanks, Steve. So at the distribution center, it's all things distribution. So, receiving, inventory management, picking, packing, shipping. We process about 20,000 orders a day out of the Atlanta distribution center, and we support 420 Fastenal business units here in the southern U.S. And those business units do about $50 million a month in revenue. So it's a big operation, and it's everything to do with distribution and transportation. So it's 24/7 basically. It really depends on the schedule that you would be working. We do different things at different times of the day, but I think in common with the B2B side of things with Steve, it's that you wear a lot of different hats, and we do what we need to do to get the customer service day in and day out. I've seen several questions pop up in regards to the requirements, and folks that don't fall in that sophomore, junior criteria. You can still apply for a part-time job at Fastenal if you don't fit the criteria for this specific program, and you can still, work, gain experience while you go to school, and just be outside of the parameters of this specific program. So we are looking for, in this program, to have folks that fit that criteria.
I did see one of the questions, and I've been able to visually see some of those also. Good. Someone's asked, can you transfer to a different Fastenal location for the summer? Yes, that's something we could probably work into the schedule depending on where you're at. And as long as we plan accordingly, we should be able to make arrangements for that if you're going back home for a period of time, and then and keep you back on the same schedule. So we would just need to know that up front and work with that.
Okay. So it sounds like whether you fit into this exact program or not, it would be a good idea to apply either as a part-time or full-time employee. And then there's also the opportunity for internships. Is that true? Do you have internships?
Yes, well, and that's really what this program is.
Right. But it's a 20-hour a week, roughly, internship, paid internship, correct?
Well, this is an 18-month structured program designed specifically to, equip students with experience in the business management and supply chain sector. So it's very regimented, and it requires the full 18 months. We don't have traditional internships where you would just come work for us for one semester. That's not something that Fastenal does.
Right.
I do see there was something that someone asked is, could you apply for the program as a senior? Really with this program, it wouldn't be the same in regards to of what we've structured here. But what I would ask is that you reach out and work through Michael Smith, and work with Greg and myself in regards to your particular situation. And we do have other programs that we could do. It just wouldn't be necessarily the fast track, but we could work together to get you on board and show you the opportunities to be able to grow with the company.
Okay. So there was a specific question about exposure to procurement, transportation planning, and inventory management. Are these some of the areas that they would get experience in?
Absolutely. No, every one of those that was just mentioned, they would be able to do that. And they would see that both from, and many of those are things that we do here in the distribution center for sure. But then we do those, but they do, I guess, It's a little bit different in the way we do it, but we're doing that in regards to the stores and working with our customers also. So those same activities would be taught and show how we do it in a DC. We would show how we do it in a store, but then we also offer them as solutions and helping our customers with them same type of topics. So yes.
Okay. And so what are the open and close off dates for admission regarding the FASTRAC program? And I think maybe would Michael be a good person to take that question? Michael, would you feel comfortable with that question? Michael Smith?
Sorry, my microphone was muted. Really, what we're looking for opening dates would be, for the fast track program, would be somebody in their sophomore or junior year. But now, as far as registration into the internship program, right now we're looking at having applications ready by the end of the semester for spring of 2021. So now you'd be applying for spring semester 2021 and needing to have the internship learning agreement completed to me by the end of the semester.
Okay. And I believe that that information will be loaded into the chat related. Okay. Is Jacob trying to say something here?
Yes, Margaret, if I may jump in. So I just want the students to know that as both Steve and Greg has been saying, this is a customized program. So on one side, yes, you are in a pipeline to be absorbed into Fastenal and in an 18-month training program. On the other side, Michael Smith, who just spoke, will within that 18 months can try to include you for up to 2 semesters or up to 6 hours of the internship work, internship credit. So I just want everyone to understand that you don't need to wait for the internship to start to apply for this program. You can start the program, apply for it tomorrow and go through the process. And once you are in the program, then talk to Mr. Michael Smith, who can then try to help you to get the up to 2 course internship during the 18 months while you're in the program. I just wanted to clarify that.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Chaco. I wanted to give, there was a student who had their hand up. Brittany, I don't know what your question is. Have we answered your question? If not, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. Not knowing, I don't know what's going on there. Brittany? Okay.
There was no question.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Can you mute yourself back, please? There you go. And Greg, I wanted to pass this on to you just to be sure that you were able to share with the students everything that you felt you needed to. And we're going to have to wrap up the Q&A in the next 10 minutes or so, but I just wanted to be sure you had an opportunity to say what you needed to say.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would add is that, when we talk about the store side of the business, we're managing the supply chain for the customer at some degree. So I want folks to understand that. So all that stuff about procurement, inventory management, we're doing that for our customers in a consultant / supplier type role in some degree. And the last thing that I want to say is that, we work with a lot of schools because as Steve said, we have to do a lot of recruiting to keep up with our growth. And one of the biggest questions that comes to me is, what can I do as a student to set myself up for the best opportunities upon graduation? And I don't think that, and I can tell you as an employer and a recruiter and everything that I do from my perspective, there's nothing that you can do that will set you apart greater than adding relative experience to your education that will open more doors and that will equip you at a greater level. Whether you decide to stay with Fastenal or go to another organization, your opportunities, I believe, are exponentially increased if you add relative work experience to your education. And I can't emphasize that enough. Thank you, Margaret.
Okay, thank you. There was a question about being an intern as a program coordinator. I'm not understanding the question. Does that make sense?
I'm not following it.
I'm not following it. Possibly Asha could give us a clarification.
I see there was a question in regards to Fastenal locations near campus.
Right.
Our distribution center here is off Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Our stores, we've got stores in Clark, right here in off of Fulton Industrial. We have another location. We've got one down in McDonough for those that may be commuting from the south side coming up. We've got one just outside of downtown Atlanta. So there's multiple locations that we should be able to work within. Yes, that would be, you would have to be able to have the ability to drive, of course. If you lived on campus, you'd still need transportation to get to the facilities. We are working on some programs for the future, though, that would help us to be able to do some of the training and work on some programs for the future that would be right there at campus. The whole thing that's went on in 2020 has kind of put a halt to us even pursuing that any further at this point.
So, Steve, are you referring to the on-site distribution center and incorporating internships into that?
Well, yes, that would be a part of it. Now, that part we're still interested in and we'll be pursuing in regards to the actual on-site Fastenal facility, but the ability to do some of the other trainings and things like that from off-site. But yes, that part we will be still pursuing and just still really working on that side.
Right. It's a little complicated, but it's hopefully going to happen.
I hope so. And we'll take any support we can get. And I know because we're really, with all what's went on in COVID, we have actually more colleges and universities that Fastenal has opened on-sites for because of the being able to be for the supply chain and no breakdowns in what's been able to provide them with the products they need.
Right. I did have a question related to COVID. What is your protocol in your distribution centers or in your offices related to COVID? Are these internships, I'm assuming they are in person? Do you have any alternative options? How's that working? Lots of questions.
At this point, yes, they would be in person. They would be actually at the locations, at the stores, or in the distribution. We've taken all the protocols to make sure for as we open up, because as I said, our number one thing is our people. And we did close a lot of our stores for a period of time to the public, to where they weren't coming in, to where at least in our stores we weren't exposing people from a surface sanitizing type situation. It was just our own people in those locations. But we have taken the precautions, between offering and having masks, gloves, all the cleaning type supplies, and doing that internally. Right.
So it was very interesting to me also that you were able to, it sounds like Fastenal is a very agile company because you turned on a dime. I know that safety was something that you were focused on before, but it sounds like there was an opportunity with this PPE that you took advantage of in terms of the products that you focused on, and that safety has become a real focus. Was that something you were already doing, or was that?
Safety has been a very fast-growing program. Ever since we started, really, they partnered up with our vending solutions because it was a great way to disperse PPE-type items in a manufacturing or a distribution facility where they may have 100, 200, or 1,000 employees. Instead of before, someone would hand them out. They would come to a room, or they would have boxes of this stuff, and then you couldn't track it. In this and with our vending systems, you're able to track it. You're able to provide it. The other piece that's grown with that is we're able to provide it in a safe environment, putting it in the vending machines. So people weren't touching this stuff. You were eliminating that piece of it by a lot of different people, or leaving it in an exposed area at a facility because it was in a machine, not touchable, or even in the air, in the atmosphere, in those locations to be exposed. The other piece, because we were selling a lot of product at safety, is we had very good relationships and supply chain for ourselves. And so what happened is, you've heard the word of allocation. I know they use that a lot on the TV and the news, and how the medical and first responders, are being allocated those products. Well, we were allocated, not only that we were purchasing from these manufacturers, but we also got priority because we were a supplier to the first responders and the departments of correction and the school systems, and all the food and beverage type industries that that needed that product to be able to produce the food and get it out. So
All right. So not only were you in the right place at the right time, but you had the right things in order to make it all happen and took advantage of it.
piece,
Good.
yes, and having cash.
Yeah.
We were able to invest. We saw that coming. A lot of people needed to be pre-buyed when you're starting to buy, tens of millions of dollars of product.
Right.
And so we were able to do that without having to worry about going and borrowing the money.
Right. So when you needed that hand sanitizer, you should have called Steve Roembke, right?
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing probably that was crazy that you couldn't buy, when everything became a toilet paper.
Oh,
I would
right.
have never said that I sold toilet paper, but we had toilet paper, and I can tell you, in our companies that have 400 and 500 employees,
Yeah.
they were very thankful to Fastenal.
Exactly. We have time for one more question, and I'm going to ask Tyra Thomas, if your question has not been answered, can you please ask your question?
Hi. The only question I had was, what was the pay rate for Fastenal as in coming as an intern?
We would discuss that in the interview process. That's not something that we would discuss on the chat.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Okay. Well, I really appreciate all the students who have come. Let's see, how many do we have? About 75. That's a great number. I think there's a lot of interest in this program. We're going to close out the official program, but if any of you students or others want to stick around and ask Mr. Smith questions, or Mr. Roembke or Mr. Campbell questions, I'm sure they have a minute to do that. But thank you so much.
I do have one quick question.
Yeah.
I do have one quick question. Did we have it posted in regards to where they could download the 2 documents we talked about?
Yes.
Okay.
There's an information note card that's posted, the one that you saw earlier, and also the syllabus. And the next step would be to contact Mr. Smith if you're interested in pursuing this. Any other final comments, Jacob?
Well, I want to thank Steve and Greg for doing this. And again, just remind the students that take a look at the FASTRAC program itself. They've got a very detailed syllabus, prospectus, brochure, whatever you want to call it. And then Michael Smith would be the person for the internship, for applying for, if you want to apply for the FASTRAC, then please, I think, is it Heidi who they should call, Steve and Greg, or is it one of you?
All that information is on the posting that they'll see in just a minute.
Okay, all right. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dean.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming. And stay tuned for the next Jim Wood speaker.